from Pontes Books, here with the chapter 31 fun fact for the Prince and the Pauper. Today's fun fact is a very fun one, and it's a very small detail in chapter 31, but it stood out to me, so I wanted to look into it a little bit. Our fun fact for today is examining fireworks. So a little bit in the modern day context, but also, what are fireworks like back in the time of the Prince and the Pauper? So it's kind of like another historical tidbit of sorts as well, but with some modern info also. So in the Prince and the Pauper, this is a part of the celebration that's all leading up to the coronation. And we see, like I said, a very brief reference here that can be seen in this paragraph. When he arrived there, the sides of the venerable fortress seemed suddenly rent in 1,000 places, and from every rent leaped a red tongue of flame and a white gush of smoke. A deafening explosion followed, which drowned the shoutings of the multitude and made the ground tremble. The flame jets, the smoke, and the explosions were repeated over and over again with marvelous celerity, so that in a few moments the old tower disappeared in the vast fog of its own smoke. So it never explicitly says the word fireworks, probably because maybe that term came around later, I'm not sure. But this is my interpretation of what's happening here. Either that or there's like, I don't know, a war going on, and this is a pretty big celebration. So I would imagine, and based on kind of the little research that I did, it seems like that is likely what's happening here. But they probably looked different than what we would consider fireworks today, just because fireworks have evolved. So how do fireworks work? So basically, you can break it down into 4 steps, and the 5th one's kind of like a variation. So basically, you light a fuse, and that fuse sets off a charge, which ignites gunpowder. And that's all happening when the firework is still on the ground. Then that igniting of the gunpowder launches the firework into the sky. And then there's more gunpowder that's inside the firework. So once it's up in the sky, and I'm sure they have some sort of way to make the timing work out, but I didn't, zoom in that specifically. There are what are called stars, or at least kind of what this person referred to as stars, containing metal salts and iron filings that after that firework ignites, then they explode in different colors. So then within the firework, these stars can be placed in different compartments to go off at different times and in different configurations, different kind of shapes to get different patterns in the fireworks in the sky. There are also, different ingredients, I guess, that are included in those different stars to get different colors as well. So that is a very basic, from my understanding, overview of how fireworks work. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than that. And it's a process that you don't really want to mess up because things could go very wrong and have gone very wrong, for people who don't know what they're doing. So the earliest fireworks, many people believe that they originated in China, and that the earliest, quote, form was actually bamboo stalks thrown into a fire, which have kind of some hollow air pockets in them. And then when those were overheated, that would cause them to make a big banging sound and kind of explode. And that was maybe where the idea originated from. So then supposedly, somewhere between 600 and 900 AD, a Chinese alchemist mixed potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal, and put them into, again, hollow bamboo sticks, and would kind of like launch them out of there, I think, or it would explode it, I don't know. So that was an original kind of earliest form, actual version of fireworks. So then I wanted to look at, like I said, fireworks in Tudor time. I wanted to know what was being described in this story. What would that have kind of looked like? So I didn't get a lot of detail on specifically what the fireworks themselves, how they worked, but they were still, involving gunpowder and things like that. So the first official firework display, at least according to the source that I saw, was actually at the wedding of Henry VII and Elizabeth of York. So fireworks kind of bloomed and also peaked during the Tudor reign. So it makes sense that Mark Twain would choose to include this in his story. So it reached that peak popularity during the reign of Elizabeth I. So that in the story, she's a character in our story, Edward's sister. And so much that she actually appointed an official fire master of England, whose job it was to kind of be in control of all of these pyrotechnics, if you will, and fireworks. So it was actually the experimentation with not maybe fireworks specifically, but this idea of pyrotechnics that caused the Globe Theater to burn down the first time. And that was kind of one disaster, but then also Elizabeth visited a friend, Robert Dudley, in 1572. And to greet her, he presented a mock battle, including fireworks and some kind of dragon pyrotechnic things. And it accidentally caused several houses that were in a neighborhood nearby to burn to the ground. So they loved fireworks, but they apparently didn't quite know how to control them yet at this time. So that's a little bit about fireworks. Hopefully you learned something. Have a good rest of your day.